Welcome, everyone. My name's Brett Foote from Wisconsin, the North American Clarets Burnley supporter. You just got beat by company's big, bald head. You're now listening to the DU Football Show.
I thought it'd be good to do the old people that are not in the Premier League, since this is the welcome to the Premier League.
Oh, yeah, sounds good.
You know, I thought
people going down the other side of the Pompey Highway, right?
Yep, let's start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Stump of a lord. Look straight in shorts. Sam Graham, hey.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Champions. Oh, not that show?
Hello and welcome to the DU Football Show, a completely biased getting to know you episode as told by two common American schmucks. I am your host, Sam Houston, and across the way from me, as insufferable as ever, my co-host, Mr. Samuel Graham.
I'm giving it the big licks all season. I'm starting every show with that. You can go fuck yourself.
Okay, you can tell we've been away for a while.
Oh,
Good Lord. You doing all right over there, bud?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
I've survived summer so far.
Yeah, and of course, on the ones and twos, we got the lovely producer, Mel. How you doing over there, casual Mel?
Guess I'm supposed to go Euro champions.
And
Your turn, Houston.
Didn't get relegated.
Didn't sign Grealish.
Still got hit with still got hit with fines.
Oh, brilliant. Good stuff.
We're going to the DU Public House just outside the nation's capital. You can check us out wherever you get your podcasts. And, of course, streaming live every single Monday night. Should you want to chat with us, there is many ways that you can. Mr. Graham, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
Absolutely. It's at DU Football Show on all the social medias and dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email.
And should you want to get our show ad-free or support the show and get extra bits, how do you go about doing that, Mr. Graham?
It's a little early in the summer for me to whore.
Yeah,
all right?
well, you're
Patreon.com/DU Football Show. Sign up to that one beautiful $5 tier. You'll be able to get all your ad-free shows and all the extra content Sam just told you about.
You are a pretty whore, and I will whore you out as much as I want to. Or, as I always like to say, Mr. Graham, you can just zoom your happy ass in here, which is the case of our guest today. We have Joe. Joe, how you doing, good sir?
I am fantastic. How are you doing?
Doing awesome. And tell everybody who you support.
Coventry City, champions of the championship at the moment.
Ah, yes, with proven championship manager Frank Lampard. Too bad he's not a proven Premier League manager. Sam and myself both work in the same wine and spirit industry and both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So as the red-blooded Americans we are, we vow to have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every single show. Mr. Graham, it's summer, so why not continue the gin binge that we didn't get to really fulfill?
Must have, but first,
Yes.
It's my summer too, Sam. I'm having a pickle shot.
Very good.
Bang.
I love that.
Gin binge. So what we have today is Warner's raspberry flavored gin. Jammy, fruity, and vibrant, they say. 80 proof, and comes from England as well. So... There you go.
Very good.
It's
really
fucking
good.
lovely. This is one of my favorite expressions from them. Their elderflower is also absolutely phenomenal. But if you want a pink gin, it's a good one to get.
Yeah, pink gin
Should run you about $30 on a shelf here in the old States.
Because in most instances, when it's when you're using like a pink gin, it would be one that has bitters added to it, right? So
Yep.
Yeah, really light and refreshing. Great for
It's
summertime.
lovely. Yeah, it's perfect.
Wow. Producer Mel, what do you think? You're a gin girl.
I like it. It's very soft and drinkable. This is going to be dangerous. Is there a second one ready?
Well, there's, behind the curtain, there's a bunch of shows being done today, so there's going to be multiple drinks.
I said what I said.
And what else do we always need to do, Mr. Graham?
Always remember to drink responsibly.
Fantastic. So today we are chatting Coventry City, a very, very big club that a lot of people don't know about because it has been some time, quite a while since they have been in the Prem. Joe, tell us why Coventry, what brought you to Coventry, and why are you a supporter?
I was born in Coventry, so quite a few moons ago. In 1974, first went to Coventry City games, late 70s, early 80s. At the time, we had Jimmy Hill was our chairman. I don't know if you're familiar with him over here. He did quite a bit, actually, of the early publicising of American football. He got involved in that. He was our manager who brought us into the top flight back in 1967 and then became chairman. And we had a great fun time at the old Highfield Road as I was growing up. Most of the time dodging relegation. We didn't have too many memories of finishing either top or top five or anything like that. But it was just good fun. You know, we didn't expect to ever win a league, but growing up, it was great. You certainly learned about survival and many great memories at Highfield Road back in the day.
Nice. So if you could walk us through what Coventry's nickname is, obviously like Arsenal has the Gooners and blah, blah, blah. So if you could walk us through what your nickname is, where your ground is, what it's called, and besides relegation, who your rival is.
Yeah, we are known as the Sky Blues. Again, Jimmy Hill in the 60s changed us to a sky blue kit. We used to be a kind of white or blue at that point, and then turned us into, as we've been known as the Sky Blues really ever since. Ground-wise, we left Highfield Road early in this century. We had big dreams at the end of the last century of turning our club into a real force in the Premier League. That didn't happen. We got relegated, and we were in the process at that time of moving over to our big new grand stadium that we really just couldn't afford. And we had a pretty torrid time after that for quite a while from 2001.
Now, one quick follow-up question to this as well, before you get into your rival, is given what happened in the World Cup and in that World Cup semifinal, are you nervous about wearing blue and white stripes and everybody just re-nicknaming you cunts?
I'm actually going to have to show you my Scotland tattoo, actually. That I've got here. So it's all quite... It was quite complicated for me as a kid, and it's quite complicated over there. So I was brought up by Scottish parents, but brought up in Coventry in the heart of England. So actually, you know, I went to Boston to watch Scotland win their one and only game against Haiti. I had a brilliant time over there. We did what all either Coventry or Scotland fans actually do, is then start to dream on the back of one great result. And we never got we got nothing after that. It was, we just got beaten really. And we went out. But yeah, I did. I'd like to watch the US do well. I like to see England do well, but I don't lose sleep if either do badly, which you both ultimately did.
Yeah. I got to remember with the World Cup, there's only going to be one truly happy country at the end of it.
Well, that's the truth.
Yeah, everybody else is going to be disappointed. And then the rival, right?
Yep. So who's your main rivalry?
Yeah, probably Leicester City to a lot Leicester, or when I was growing up, it depends a little bit on where there's so many teams right close to us, but it's Leicester or Villa really, maybe even Birmingham City. But any of those three, we hate the three with probably equal passion, if that's possible there, I think.
Excellent. And so then the big one then for this year for you will be playing Villa. That'll be kind of your derby, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, that'll be a biggie.
So you've hinted at a little bit of it already. You've kind of talked about it some. And if you're big into footy and you're big into the Premier League, we remember the gentleman holding the sign in the stands as you were when you got relegated that said "We will be back," and then of course the "We are
iconic
back"
image,
yeah. Then there's the "We are back" signs, which were up at the end of this year. But in between there, that's 25 long years, and we kind of equate you guys similarly to a team like Sunderland, right? Big fucking club.
Yep.
Big soccer, big footy city. Just nobody knows because you haven't been in the Prem forever. So talk
And
a little.
they would have been relegated right about the time we got proper television coverage here as well.
Precisely when Fox started to carry it
right.
and
So
everything.
they would have been just not in the psyche, right? At in America at least.
More people would have been aware of Pompey or QPR or even Hull. Like they'll be like, oh yeah, I remember Hull, like then knowing Coventry. Kind of walk us through what happened in those 25 years. Obviously moved into a new ground, ups and downs and all of that. And also like you had multiple times where you had heartbreak at Wembley too. So please kind of talk about all of that.
Yeah. Lots of that, majority of that until this year, really, this last 12 months is extremely painful. It's like opening up old wounds, even talking about some of it, as I was thinking before coming on to this show today. 2001 and the sign going up, we'll be back. I think the majority of Coventry fans were worried that we might be a year or two down. It might take us a season. Not everybody wasn't always coming back up. It was before the big parachute payments. Mm-hmm. So, you didn't get support really.
Century.
So it just really... Yeah, it just put us in bigger trouble, really, than, and the stadium thing that was going on at the time just made it impossible. We were still at Highfield Road trying to work out when we were ever going to go to this stadium that we then ultimately didn't own. And we had just a whole succession of horror, really, including some horror managers at the time as well. I think a lot of Cov fans would be there. We had administration. We spent quite a bit of time at other teams, including Birmingham City, who I'd say is one of our rivals. We went and played at their ground as our home ground because they wouldn't let us play at the ground that was in our city. We had a rugby team from London that came up and took over our stadium and so tried to turn Coventry City fans into London Wasps in Coventry or whatever they were trying to do. It didn't work anyway. They folded. And then, we had time at Northampton, where numerous Coventry fans wouldn't even go in there. We'd travel to there, which was like about a 30-mile journey or something, and then sort of stand on a hill outside and just, create a kind of protest there. And we had the Sisu takeover. Still don't really know what that stands for, but shit must be in it somewhere. And we had...
Isn't that what Ronaldo yells after he scores?
Really. It's a really... What was that? Sorry,
I said, isn't that what Ronaldo yells after he scores? Sisu.
Absolutely, yeah. It was just painful. We had Mark Robbins came to us in around about 2012, 2013 for a brief time, and then when he came back to us in 2017, things started to get better. Really, we had Actually, when he first came to us, we were getting relegated into League Two, the very bottom division, the worst we'd done. And remember, before that, we were that team that just was always in the top flight football. 34 years we spent in top flight football. Only Arsenal, Everton and Liverpool had been in longer than us. So, we were a mainstay. So, and I find it correct. I moved over here in 2017, so I've been here almost 10 years. It was actually the start. Me moving was then sort of Coventry getting back on the move, if you like, and things starting to maybe click a little. But exactly to what you said, Sam, I think a few minutes ago, I would speak. People would say, "Oh, who's your team?" You must be soccer, because they'd hear the English accent at an airport or somewhere, pub, whatever, and you tell them who you supported. They just give you that look, and it's like, Coventry, you've not heard of Coventry, you don't, and it was like, I couldn't believe it. How could you not have heard of Coventry City? And so, it is a chance to be reborn. I mean, we're a city that kind of stands a lot for that. We got flattened in World War II, so you kind of grew up in Coventry being well aware of the World War II and the bombers and flattening the city centre and things like that. So and then being reborn. And this really, I know it sounds probably a little over dramatic to sort of play it against World War II recovery or something, but to Coventry fans, we still cannot believe it. We're still pinching ourselves. And even if it turns into it, and I hate being pessimistic at all, and I know like online when people are there, I'm all saying, don't say the R word and stuff like that. I think there's a lot of us thinking it may be up and it may be straight back down again. But we're going to enjoy that up for 1 year or more, hopefully. But And we had some moments, we got to a couple of years ago, got to the semi-final of the FA Cup. I think we were almost cheated out of that by Man United.
Yeah, should have won that game. 100%.
You got fucked over. Absolutely. You should have won that game.
That was terrible. Yeah. But then again, I remember way back to, the 90s and the 80s where United got everything then as well. So it was, I think they've always had the officials in their pocket to some degree. Back to the Fergie days and things. But and then we had the heartache of the playoff, missing the penalty, Dabo. That was pure pain. And that would have been Robins bringing us up. He came so close to it. And then 2024 season started and we were just off it. Just something wasn't right. We had a really good, which we still, have the majority of those players really. Started the season terribly. I think we were down in 16th, 17th when Lampard came to us. And, we were sort of thinking, I think you opened the show with never proven at the Premier. And we don't know, you have to sort of earn your mettle somewhere and learn your trade somewhere maybe as a manager. And maybe that's what he's done. But he came in, he didn't change the team significantly. We still have the Robins team, really.
That's no surprise to me.
Yeah, he just he transformed us, and it's belief sometimes,
that's exactly what I was going to say. I kind of feel like Frank Lampard, he always tends to come in and start really well. Like when you think about when he took over at Chelsea, when he took over at Everton, when he went back to Chelsea again, and then things kind of fizzle out because I don't know that he really has tactics. Right? He kind of gets found out, but he's like, okay, here, I'm going to say something. You're going to be mad at me, but it's going to be okay, right?
Okay.
I think he's the team move version of Carlo Ancelotti. He's a player whisperer, right? Arm around you, give you some confidence, but doesn't really do much. The difference is Carlo Ancelotti has world-class squads to work with, and Frank Lampard has fucking Everton. So it fizzles out.
Fair enough. Well, I mean, that kind of we're already kind of on to the next question, which is, what is it, what is it that Frank did differently? It sounds like not much to get this team back up other than just maybe putting an arm around them. But what style of play should we expect to see from Coventry as a club in the Premier League this next season?
It's Frank Lampard. He likes to play attacking football. He likes attacking fullbacks. That was kind of if there was one main tactical change, it was kind of our fullbacks getting forward more, little bit more aggressive maybe on the pressing. Than what we were under Robins. But I said the season before, we almost made it the year before. We were really close. It was a really good squad. It is, a really good championship squad that he inherited there. And we were very inconsistent at times. And then we panicked a bit as well. And we had that moment as well. Was this Lampard's, great start to it. And then the last season, and then we got to Christmas and there was a wobble and we thought, is this going to be us go like that now? And maybe what he shows is a maturity as a manager that he's never shown or had before. And Coventry fans really were impressed, and there were a lot of doubters, a lot of people. It was far from, unanimous Coventry support when Robins was relieved of his duties there, and Lampard especially being brought in with his track record at that point. And I don't know, the next season is huge. We wait to see what he's going to do, but he hasn't changed a lot. We play a kind of like a 4-2-3-1. And it's a pretty regular team, and he's added a few names so far, but nothing that's probably got the Coventry fans thinking, yeah, wow, this is a team that's set up for top 10 or something like that. I think we're thinking, okay, there's a bit of depth there maybe, but we did, we won it by 11 points, so we come in as a very strong championship side, and that hasn't always gone for anything in whether you're going to survive the next season. It's a combination of probably luck, the belief that I think Frank has already said brought in. Grimes was fantastic for us last year, and he played with Rodoni, gets fit. He may miss the beginning of the season. We have a really high quality midfield, and pressing fullbacks and maybe we're weak up front. Maybe I don't know. There's a big American guy who scored goals for us last year.
Haji Wright,
Haji Wright, and I was quite excited to be able to see him in the World Cup, and I think he got about 3 minutes.
Why they kept going to Pepe and not
I
him
don't
was
know either.
beyond me.
I
It was
don't like Ricardo Pepe for love nor money.
Likewise, and for me, it was just like, why is Haji's a proven goal scorer? Like he's done it for a while now. Like it just, he had during when Coventry had their blip and kind of. It coincided with Haji. Like Haji was not scoring.
A lot of it has to be the English pound period, right? But the championship, in my opinion, probably has the most internationals for a second division in the world.
I'm sure, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So even if you're a proven goal scorer at that level, you're still pretty fucking good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why not put him on the field?
Yeah. Exactly.
It's ridiculous to me.
Why don't you go ahead and lead us into number 5, because we're kind of talking about that now.
Yeah, and leading into Frank's attacking style, of course. Last season, you had 5 players score double digits, which is kind of unheard of, to be honest. Sharing the goals around is a thing. Obviously, my club do it because York Rush didn't exactly hit the ground running. Yep. But sharing the goals around to that extent, where 5 people hit double digits, is pretty insane. Do you think that attack and that kind of sharing of those goals can translate to the Premier League? Obviously, we've seen Sunderland not really have, until Brobby hit his stride mid-season, have kind of shared the goals around to pick up those early season points. Do you think Coventry can kind of replicate that?
I hope so, because the backup, he may even start ahead of Wright, is an old toffee, isn't it?
I was about to mention
Simms.
that. Yeah, Ellis Simms.
I think between Simms and Hadji last season, they scored like 30 goals. So, I mean, we have 2 forwards who put the ball in the net. As you said, probably the toughest second string, the second division down in the world, I think. And they looked really good in bits. I mean, maybe Simms a bit more inconsistent. I think if we were relying on him for a long period of time, a lot of Coventry fans, maybe jury's out a little bit as to whether he could do it at the Premier League. But Hadji Wright, I don't know. It is a step up. It would have been great to have seen him, as said, in the World Cup, but we didn't. Lots of Coventry fans across kind of social media and that keep saying, I hear it time and time again about we need to spend big and get a 20-goal striker. Well, as other fans are saying as well, that isn't easy. Who's a 20-goal striker are you going to get for probably in our budget 20, 30 million or something? If we can stretch that, it's just not going to happen. So there has to be that leap of faith.
All you have to do is follow Brighton scouts to South America.
Yeah, there you go.
Just wherever Brighton scouts go, follow them, and then add 2 million on top of the price, and you'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
100%.
When we did the getting to know you with Leeds last year, Lars made a really great point that's stuck in my head ever since. You need a striker that's going to score about 15. Be involved, maybe a few assists, but if you can get that, you probably get 32, 33, 35 points, and you're probably safe. Like, if you can just do that. And they did. They got Calvert-Lewin, who gave them exactly what they needed.
16 goals or whatever it was. Yeah.
Why they stayed up. And so as long as between these 2 guys, you get 20, probably staying up. But probably will be enough.
What makes me nervous, though, is we've seen this sort of profile of American striker do well in the championship, and it just doesn't translate, right?
Like Josh Sargent
at Norwich. Even Josie Altidore, when he came over from Spain, did very well for Sunderland, and then in the Premier League was just not the business. Couldn't, for whatever reason, couldn't do it. Went back on loan, if I remember correctly, to Spain. 18 goals in La Liga. Like, they, for whatever reason, it's such a weird. There's no more Brian McBrides or Clint Dempsey's, right? It's just, that's what makes me nervous. But Haji Wright's a strong old boy. Like, he could wreck some people for sure. And there's more than one blueprint for staying up, right? I mean, we talked about Sunderland, obviously, and sharing goals around, and for the most part, playing relatively decent football. But then you think of like Huddersfield Town, who season 1 just kicked the shit out of everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
They just Argentinaed their way into staying in the Premier League for that one season, right?
Play ugly, but get points.
Yeah, but there's multiple ways to do it. And if I'm not mistaken, y'all had one of the best defenses in the Championship last season.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're the same with can Wright step up? Can he be a big goal scorer in the big league? We don't know. It will tell. I mean, I've seen a few Americans not quite make it, and then one that I thought did do really well with us over the years. I'm old enough to remember a couple. We had Roy Wegerle play for us, and he did really, really good back in the day. And then I remember us all getting excited about signing Kobe Jones. And we brought Kobe Jones over to the Premier League. And I remember, I wonder what age I was, but I had CJ in the City t-shirt. And we were all thinking this guy was going to light up, the league, and he didn't. He just didn't. He didn't adjust. He didn't manage to make it. Exactly as you said there. It is a difficult jump sometimes for American players. I don't know why, but they just don't all quite click the style. I mean, Hadji's got pace. He can run in behind. He's strong. He's quite gifted at the ball at his foot, and he can score goals. So you look at it and go, he should be fine. Be there with your 15 plus next year, and that would be great for us probably.
Now, continuing, the club, have you had any massive departures, like loan players that went back to their clubs or anything like that? And follow up to that, do you think there's anybody potentially like a Hadji Wright who could get poached up by some of the bigger clubs? Do you think anybody might try to steal anything from you?
No, there's not a massive amount of whisper around anybody leaving at the moment. And I think, we brought in a couple. The departures, yes and no, I would probably answer that with, which is we lost Jamie Allen, let him go, and Brad Collins, people who probably a lot of fans wouldn't be too familiar with. Not big names, not massively central parts of our drive to the Championship last year. The lone one that still we believe in the balance but about to sign on the line is the Brighton play. He talked about following Brighton, is the goalkeeper Carl Rushworth. He was outstanding last year. At one point, he was even being talked about for possibly getting into the England squad as a Championship keeper. He was amazing. The amount of clean sheets he kept last year. He was, for a young guy, he just seems to command everything at the back, and the defence play with a confidence with him in goal. But he hasn't signed on the dot yet. He's still got medical final things. It's been dragging on now for weeks. And so we are hoping to make that permanent. But that will feel like a massive departure if we don't get his name and get him between the sticks for the start of the season.
But I think their issue might be, especially if they stay up, is going to be next summer.
Right.
Where people start getting picked off, right? And that's what a lot of clubs can't survive, Yeah,
because you lose players, man.
Right. And these clubs that tend to not have a shit ton of budget, right? They get this 60 million for this player when they go, oh, woo, we got 60 million pounds. And they fucking go nuts and spend it like a kid in a sweet shop. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then everyone that they buy is absolute trash. Anybody that you've signed that you think might be a key player this season?
Well, we had Frank Onyeka came on loan to us last year, and then
made that permanent now.
Basis. He made it. He made a real difference at the end of the season. Again, steadied that midfield. He looked great in there. We signed Amenda and Sochauna, I think is the pronunciation of the Burnley guy who we brought. Rushworth's our one that we want, but we haven't really added much else. It's been a couple, and I don't know who other than Onyeka out there is a definite starter for us, because we're pretty good in those positions where they came in. So I think it is some wise moves from Doug King, the chairman, and Lampard just strengthening up, not going crazy at the moment.
Right.
But we feel we need a left back. Most Coventry fans think that we're a little weak in that area. And as I said, the second choice, if there was just a dream thing, would be a striker who can definitely score goals in the Premier League at a good rate.
Very good, very good. That led right into what we're going to ask. What are the things you think you need to improve? Now, I do want to let you know there is a tried and true system that you can use, and as an Evertonian, I can tell you I've seen it now for the last 6 seasons. You can just pretend that the position of left back doesn't exist. We pretend right back doesn't exist. It's just not a position. We never sign anybody because, well, there is no right
Why
back.
would you?
We put a person out there.
You had a mummy out there at one point this season.
Call it a right back.
And Seamus Coleman. The Walking Dead.
It's not a right back. It's just the 11th member of our squad. Let's just put the blinders over. And the great part is this entire summer, you know what we've been actively doing? Making sure we don't sign a fucking right back.
I actually have a quick follow-up question, and everything else that I've kind of said about Frank Lampard has sort of been a dig kind of, for joking sake. This is a serious question. Do you think that his previous kind of the way that his stints at Chelsea and Everton have gone, because I really haven't seen any Coventry linked with anyone really, right? Do you think that his past performances in the Premier League are making players second guess, do I want to play under him? Or do you think the draw of the Premier League money would be enough to somebody go, I'll sign for them. He'll be gone by November. It'll be fine. And I'm it's a semi-serious question. Obviously his time at Everton ended poorly. His second stint at Chelsea ended very poorly. So that's a real question. I'm not trying to be funny there. Even though it is still kind of funny.
Yeah, I hear it. I can imagine. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of his reputation. Said, when he came to us, was certainly not one as a manager that he could be so proud of. But if you think, that's still only occupied a very short period of that guy's career.
Very true. Yeah,
and I think people maybe in the next 6 months, year, would be quite happy to put that and almost forget about it. Maybe some Everton fans and some Chelsea fans, maybe not. But certainly, I think a lot of players would love, itch at the chance to come and play for one of the most gifted players who's ever, donned a Chelsea or England shirt. And the experience, and when you see how both the players and the fans are around him and how he is with them, it's something special. I don't think he's had that at any of the clubs. I don't think he's ever quite lasted long enough to get a really good bond as a manager with both, the whole playing staff and the fans as well. And also for it not to be Robin's team, even though I've come on and I've sort of said he has pretty much in everything, but he has achieved something with guys that somebody else wasn't achieving. And so to me, that's often, in leadership and in management, and if you can get that extra ounce out of people, then people maybe will be attracted to that. But I hear your point, and I think it's a really good point. And
I just get nervous. I just get nervous that there's, we always joke about the David Nugent zone, right? Or the Darren Huckabee zone, where you're an excellent championship player, you can't quite do it in the Premier League, right? Mm-hmm. There's a management version of that too, and you see careers and sort of stalwarts get reincarnated, right? So I just wonder if he's sort of, because he did so well with Derby, right? Mm-hmm. And then that ended poorly. And then he did this, that, the other. I feel like there's a bit of Neil Warnock about him.
I was about to say the Warlock.
If that makes sense. And not tactically, not like any of that kind of stuff. What I'm saying is that I think he might be one of those guys, almost Dyche-esque, right? Mm-hmm. Where he's a very, very good championship manager and just quite can't cut it in the Premier League. Mm-hmm. And I hope not. I'd like when former players, I think they should do well. I'm very disappointed by Thierry Henry's managerial career, right? With the France U20s and the Belgium team that he was with for a long time. Mm-hmm. I thought he would go on to be a better manager than he has been. He was an excellent leader.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I wonder if there's that little air about Frank, and that's. I'm sorry I keep harping on it. That's the biggest question mark for me about Coventry this season is what version of Frank Lampard shows up.
I would say Frank was liked and respected at Everton. We realized the season that we sacked him and brought on Dyche was because we needed a Dyche-like manager. Like we needed
at the time, yeah,
we
for
needed
sure.
a scrap.
You
manager.
needed a firefighter.
We couldn't. But you have to remember
that wouldn't absolutely rape you for money like Sam Allardyce would have.
That precisely that
Again,
that man Frank Lampard kept us up the year prior.
Right.
And was in the
That's
crowd.
true. That's true too.
In the crowd singing with the supporters after we won that comeback game against Palace. But I got to meet the guy. Right. So when they came over that summer and toured America, I went to one of the practices and I got to meet Frank. He's fabulous. He is a wonderful.
Yeah, well, he's part of Harry Redknapp's family, and he's going to be wonderful. He's going to make you feel great as he's picking your pocket out the back.
So I could see certainly where Joe, you're saying for Coventry, like that the fans have taken to him. We took to him. We fucking loved him. Until it just reached that point where we're like, dude, you gotta fucking bunker down.
Win a game.
We need to stay like. Us going down is not an option, right? Like, I mean, there's two clubs that going down is not an option. It's us and it's you.
Yep.
Like any of the other club could go down and survive it and come right, but like we can't go down. We just simply can't. And he just couldn't do that. He had to keep playing his aggressive style, but it was like, dude, we got to play a little fucking defense, man. We got to just. And that's ultimately what did it in for him. But I mean, I can completely see that as a manager. And that's probably my biggest question mark for him. And back to you, Joe, because we're running our mouths too much, is can he be disciplined enough as a manager to say, I can't always go forward. We need to hold it down in the back. And I can't just rely on hopefully a keeper we get back to save my ass all the time.
Well, and what I said earlier about Sunderland and Huddersfield, right? There's a flip side to that. There's what Luton Town did. Just help go for broke, fire and brimstone every game and lose every game 4-3. Still a fucking loss.
Yeah, the old Blackpool team that I remember had like a 5-5 draw.
Ian Holloway's team.
United. Yeah. So I'm sorry there, Joe. Please go ahead. We were. What do you think Frank can do, and what has he learned that's going to make him better this go around?
I think he needs to. The players, the whole squad needs to step up, but your manager does as well. I mean, you've got to see him. I think we've followed Frank for what will soon be actually 2 years that he's been here. So he's certainly been through a few ups and downs. As I said, that wobble that we had at Christmas, January, had every Coventry fan, no matter how brave we probably were showing faces, we were worried. And then to come through that, I think, gave us a lot of confidence now that we're taking into the new season. But it is a massive jump. How defenders in the Premier League and attackers in the Premier League punish mistakes that you could get away with last season, you won't get away with this season. Mm-hmm. And I believe he's aware of that, probably because of some of those, not too well ending stories that we've just, that you've just relayed back. I think he's learned. I think he's a better manager for those experiences, and I think Coventry should be better equipped with him having had those experiences for the season in the Premier League that's coming up. But we're under no illusions. I think this is going to be a tough year. But as I said, I think we had. I could count on my hand. Actually, as everyone in Michigan does this, don't they, with the hand thing? I could count on my hand how many good seasons we had out of the 34 in the top flight last time. So we're not coming up with those expectations of grandeur. I don't think there are many Coventry fans thinking we're going to do a Leicester City and walk the title or something like that this year. So it is survival, I think.
I think, this, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think following the way Sunderland and Leeds performed last season is not the act you want to follow when coming up, because season prior, I think actually 2 seasons in a row, the 3 that came up or the 3 that went back down.
Yep.
So that kind of unburdens the team, if that makes sense. It kind of, there's no weight on your shoulders because now we're expecting that. Now that Sunderland bloody qualified for fucking Europe. Yeah. So now people are looking at these clubs coming up, and Coventry being obviously the champions of the championship is like, oh, okay, so what do you have now? And now there's a bit of a weight of expectation that I just hope everybody around the club. Now, I'm not saying you as a fan base. I'm saying the noise surrounding you is, could that be too much pressure? Is what I'd be worried about. But it's going to be fun regardless. It's nice to have you back. We love that. On a little bit lighter note, is there anybody super famous that follows the club that we should know about? Who's a Coventry supporter?
Probably not. Our most famous fans, most of them died actually. So when we went down, and we haven't collected too many in the last. However many years, 25 years that we've been out. We do have a couple of people linked in with F1. So Christian Horner's a big fan. So he comes along with Jerry, the Spice Girl.
Oh, nice. She was a redhead, right?
Yeah, that's a perfect one.
Yeah.
Jerry's a Coventry fan. I love it.
You all know my proclivities, right? So Scary Spice, Mel B was always my favorite.
Oh, of course.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Is she Mel B?
Wow.
Yeah, she's Mel B, right?
Yeah.
I've not seen her yet at the games, but maybe she'll come for the Premier League.
But being
just a big occasion,
having both Irish and Scottish heritage, Jerry was always my number 2.
Jerry was number 2.
Yeah, Jerry was always my number 2.
Very good.
But my personal proclivities. So
Yes.
Mel B was number 1 for me.
Yeah,
Still
of
is.
course. Of course.
Still is. But I do like a ginger.
Well, perfect. That's excellent. That's a perfect person to have for that's what we're kind of looking for. One that people know, and our audience tends to skew a little older, so it's not like some Gen Z kid's going to be like, "Who's that? What's a Spice Girl?" Like all us Gen Xers, millennials. Oh, we know her.
Oh,
very
absolutely,
well.
we know. And
we all know Ginger.
For anyone listening that is Gen Z that wants to learn, I'll pour you a whiskey and spice up your life. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
Oh wow! Yeah.
All right, here it is. Here's the moment of truth. The big question. We finish this on every one of the Getting to Know You shows. How you going to do? What's your expectations, and what do you want from your club?
My heart says 14th. I think head says somewhere between 15th and 17th. I want to, believe in optimism here. And I would just take that all day long. I think most Coventry fans would just take a couple of places, maybe clear would be nice, I think.
Can't stay in the league for another 34 years if you don't stay this year. And that's what it's got to be. So. Survive this year, then start to figure it out. But just fucking survive. And there's enough clubs that have had some massive shakeups and also haven't really addressed any problems, right? That I think there's room for a club to survive. There's certainly room for a club to survive.
I'm starting to believe that every club that gets promoted, in addition to anyone sort of in the 10th through 15th range, that finishes consistently there every year, should add their lawyers to the prosecution to get City the points deduction that they actually deserve. And that's one less spot for someone to go down that season.
Oh, see, I was just thinking you were going to say they should all get together and sue Everton. That seems to be
no, you'll fuck yourselves up, no problem. We don't need to help that. We need to help the oil-rich state get their actual fines and points deductions.
Well, it's I certainly personal opinion here, but of the 3 teams coming up, I feel like this is the only one poised to potentially stay up.
Yeah.
I'm not very high on the other 2. Yeah.
What's the third? Sunderland and not Sunderland, fuck's sake. Hull and who?
And Ipswich. And
Ipswich. And they just lost Kieran McKenna.
And they like that. I would totally give them a chance of staying up if McKenna was still managing.
I think they're both probably. I hope Hull gets relegated immediately. I think they'll be. I fucking hate that town, and I've never been there. I think that you'll probably see again one spot for relegation up for grabs. I think Spurs have strengthened in the right positions that they won't be 17th again. But what the question mark is going to lie around sophomore hangovers, right?
For those 2 clubs, yep.
For Leeds, for Sunderland are big deals.
And Sunderland has to play Europe, which never goes well.
Right, is hard to balance, right? And if you dig yourself a big enough hole, it's hard to fucking get out of it, right? So I think it is potentially up for grabs, that 3rd spot, and Coventry has a good chance of staying up, I think.
Palace, no Glasner, losing players left and right.
Yep.
Like, what is that? Like, who is the next man going to step up and do it?
Can this guy get a tune out of Bournemouth? Marco Rosa, right? Or whatever his name. I think it's Rosa's his last name.
Glasner may be at Forest, but Forest is just, it's a fucking shit show. They're going to sign another 18,000 players to their roster. And I just say the manager.
How does Vitor Pereira get fired?
The owner's going to run on the pitch with a firearm and shoot up the place. I just say, and then, or in the most Fulhamish thing ever, you could just be Fulham and decide not to sign anyone. Fuck, we're going to let our best players go. And then,
don't worry about
the transfer window is more of a philosophy than it is actual execution. We're going to let, in a very Fulhamish way, we're going to let everybody else sign their people first, and then we'll pick up what's left.
Pick up the scraps.
So there are a lot of clubs. There's a lot of fucking question marks. It's there. It really is. It's there for the taking. I just don't think the other two clubs are good enough to do it. I do think Coventry is. Yeah. You know, they're not going to.
I think they're best poised to. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
It's not going to be pretty like it was for Sunderland, but I think they're going to figure out a way to do it. You know,
I'm with you.
Right. So thank you so much for joining us, Joe. This was great because a lot of times it's yo-yo clubs and we like our people who come on and they're everybody's awesome, but it's really cool to kind of talk
especially Pastor Daddy.
Yeah, exactly. A team who hasn't been around for a while, and it's exciting to see them back up here. But
we were all pulling for you.
Yeah,
we like with teams we've never heard of or teams that that haven't been in for ages come back up. So like we were rooting for Sunderland last season to come up.
Yeah,
you know,
we were when they got up, we were rooting for them.
Yeah, we haven't seen Sunderland in fucking forever, right? And it was a breath of fresh air. And now with you guys, very excited to have you back in the league and very excited to have you kind of now part of this parish. So thank you for joining us.
Joe, plug away. Where can like-minded Coventry supporters find groups within the United States, podcasts, anything like that, or people that are just interested in learning more about the club? Tell them where they can find out more about you guys.
We have just set up the Coventry City Supporters Michigan branch. So jump on Facebook and put in Coventry City Supporters Michigan. You'll find us on there. We would love anybody. You can be anywhere in the US and come and join us. Most of the members are from around the Great Lakes area, but we welcome anybody as long as you support Coventry City. SBA TV is a great source if you want to go on and see some goals and highlights and things. And of course, YouTube, go on and see some of the better days. The 1987 FA Cup win you'll still get online. That is our greatest moment ever if you watch that. And that was a real David Goliath kind of thing. You know, we played Tottenham in 1987. They were all world stars and we were just nobodies, and we won the FA Cup when it really was the biggest cup around. And that would be what I'd recommend. Go on, find out a little bit more about Coventry and come and join us. August the 21st is the opening game of the Premier League season. And as we've already talked about, they've pitched us up against the champions of the Premier League. There's a big watch party. The Coast to Coast official Premier League launch is happening in Detroit. They've kind of paired Coventry with Detroit. There's a lot in common, Motor City and all that kind of thing. So we're having a big party in Detroit on Friday afternoon of the 21st of August. So jump on our page or jump on Premier League and come and find out once all the details are there. And we'd love to see everybody, even if it is your very first Coventry City game. It will be many Coventry City fans' very first game in the Premier League. They were not alive. So it's really exciting for all of us.
Oh, that is fabulous. All right. Well, Mr. Graham, any parting words?
Yeah, you said your FA Cup win in 1987. The final was against Spurs?
Yes.
Does that even count? Those cunts don't win things.
They were good once upon a time, I think. Yeah.
Sorry, just had to get that in.
Very good. All right, everybody. Be sure to check out the rest of our Getting to Know You series. We're going to be talking with Ipswich and talking about Hull City because nobody would bother to get in touch with us.
They're all stoned, Sam.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
They're all high.
That is definitely the case. And in just a few weeks, the amazing 20 for 20.
Welcome to the shit show.
It's coming.
Where we do the preview that takes 3 hours because we can't
We're gonna try
censor
to
ourselves.
trim it down to 2 hours and 45 minutes because we have these shows going. The 3 newly promoted clubs will not be involved in the 20 for 20 shit show.
Yeah.
So it'll be the 17 for 17 shit show.
Yeah.
Or 17 for 20, I guess.
Yeah, we'll call it the
because we
we'll
want
still
people to
call it the
listen to
20
these
for 20.
fucking episodes and do the deep dive rather than say the same thing in a 5-minute span.
Right, precisely. And then after that, the season starts. So, till next time.
I'm already exhausted.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston.
Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Stump of a lord. Look straight in shorts. Sam Graham, hey.
Sam Graham.
Brooklyn United! Brooklyn United! Hit the fucking mute button!